What if I told you that our ancestors had a very different relationship with hygiene than we do today? Imagine waking up in a world where water is scarce, soap is a luxury, and the idea of personal cleanliness is a complicated tapestry woven into the fabric of survival. Ancient civilizations had unique approaches to hygiene that might make you cringe, but they also give us a fascinating glimpse into the everyday lives of our predecessors. Let me know what ancient secrets you're curious about for our next dive into history. Picture yourself in ancient Rome, a bustling metropolis filled with people from all walks of life. The streets are alive with chatter, the aroma of street food wafting through the air, mingling with the less pleasant scents of human waste. Yes, sanitation was a challenge. The Romans were known for their impressive aqueducts that brought fresh water into the city, but not everyone had access to this precious resource. For many, the public bathhouses served as the primary venue for cleansing, relaxation, and social interaction. These bathhouses were grand, with marble columns and intricate mosaics, but the reality inside was far from pristine. As you step into the warm steam of the bath, the sound of splashing water and laughter fills your ears. People are gathered, chatting and sharing stories, but the truth is, cleanliness was often superficial. While they used oil to scrub their bodies and then scraped it off with a strigil, the water in the baths was shared by many. You can imagine the murky, fragrant water, not exactly the refreshing experience we associate with bathing today. But let's not forget about the ancient Greeks. They had a different take on hygiene, emphasizing the importance of physical fitness and beauty. Gymnasiums were not only places for exercise but also social hubs. After a workout, athletes would often douse themselves in oil, which was believed to enhance their skin and show off their muscles. However, this oily skin attracted dirt and dust, leading to a peculiar paradox of cleanliness. While the Greeks valued cleanliness, they also embraced the natural filth that came with their lifestyle. In more rural settings, things were even more challenging. Imagine living in a medieval village, where access to clean water is limited, and the concept of hygiene is rudimentary at best. Bathing was often seen as unnecessary, with people believing that too much water could harm them. Instead, they relied on changing clothes and using herbs to mask body odor. The smell of sweat, smoke from cooking fires, and animal waste filled the air, creating a unique yet pungent atmosphere. The floors of their homes were usually made of dirt, and it wasn't uncommon to find animals roaming freely inside. As you wander the narrow, winding streets of a medieval town, you can hear the clanging of metal as blacksmiths work, the chatter of townsfolk bartering at the market, and the distant crowing of roosters. The vivid colors of fabric and the aromas of baked bread and dried fish create a sensory overload, but the reality of hygiene remains stark. In the absence of regular bathing, people attempted to maintain cleanliness through a variety of means, from using vinegar as a wash to relying on the occasional rain shower. And then, there are the Vikings, known for their fierce raids but also for their surprisingly advanced approach to hygiene. Contrary to the stereotype of them as dirty barbarians, the Vikings bathed regularly, at least once a week. They believed that cleanliness was essential for health and even had grooming kits with combs and tweezers. Imagine the sounds of water splashing against wooden tubs and the smell of fresh herbs as they added them to their baths. Yet, even with their regular bathing, the Viking ships were often cramped and stank of sweat and salt water. The reality of life on the sea was harsh, with limited opportunities for personal care. The salt from the sea air and the fish they consumed created a distinct scent that lingered on their clothes and skin. But wait, there's a detail still more fascinating that few people know about hygiene in these times. In many ancient cultures, personal cleanliness was often tied to social status and beliefs. The wealthy had access to better resources, such as scented oils and imported soaps, while the lower classes had to make do with whatever they could find. In some societies, bathing was not just a physical necessity but also a ritualistic act, believed to purify the soul as much as the body. As you reflect on these practices, it becomes evident that the views on hygiene were deeply intertwined with the culture of the time. From the bustling bathhouses of Rome to the earthy floors of medieval homes, the pursuit of cleanliness was far from a straightforward endeavor. Each civilization had its own interpretation, influenced by geography, resources, and the prevailing beliefs of the time. This exploration of ancient hygiene reveals much more than just the physical practices. It uncovers the human experience of living with the realities of their environment, a testament to resilience and adaptation. The world of our ancestors was not sanitized or sterile, it was a rich tapestry of sounds, smells, and sights, where cleanliness was a relative concept. As we delve deeper into the past, we uncover the surprising truths about how our ancestors navigated the challenges of hygiene. Stay tuned for more intriguing insights as we continue this exploration of history's hidden corners. As we journey further into the intricate world of ancient hygiene, let's swing by the Middle East, where the practice of cleanliness was often steeped in ritual and tradition. In ancient Egypt, for instance, the concept of hygiene was not merely about physical cleanliness, it was deeply intertwined with spiritual and cultural beliefs. The Egyptians placed immense value on cleanliness, associating it with purity and the favor of the gods. They bathed frequently, using water from the Nile, and their bathing rituals were elaborate, often involving the use of scented oils and perfumes made from various natural ingredients like myrrh and frankincense. Imagine stepping into a bustling marketplace in ancient Egypt, where the air is filled with the scent of spices and fragrant oils. Vendors display jars filled with vibrant powders and liquids, each promising to enhance beauty and avert the foulness of body odor. The Egyptians were also known to shave their bodies entirely, a practice that not only helped in keeping cool in the sweltering heat but also facilitated better hygiene. They fashioned various tools from flint and later, bronze, to assist in their grooming. This emphasis on cleanliness even extended to their burial practices, as they believed that a well-prepared body would ensure a safe passage to the afterlife. In contrast, let's take a look at the customs surrounding hygiene in the East Asian cultures, particularly in ancient China. Here, cleanliness was a reflection of morality and a pathway to harmony. The Chinese practiced various forms of cleansing, from daily washing of hands and faces to elaborate bathing rituals that often involved herbs and herbal infusions believed to have healing properties. Their ancient texts reveal that bathhouses were popular, serving not only as places for cleanliness but also as social centers where people gathered to share news and community stories. The distinct practice of foot binding in ancient China also sheds light on the complex relationship between hygiene and beauty. While foot binding aimed to achieve the ideal of small, delicate feet, it also inadvertently created hygiene challenges. The tightly bound feet and the resulting deformities led to difficulties in maintaining cleanliness, which highlighted the stark contrast between beauty standards and practical hygiene. In this way, beauty ideals often clashed with the basic needs of cleanliness. As we continue this exploration, let's not overlook the fascinating practices of the indigenous peoples across different continents. For many, hygiene rituals were closely linked to the natural environment. In the Americas, Native American tribes utilized local plants for their cleansing properties. The use of sage and other herbs not only served to cleanse the body but also had cultural significance, often employed in spiritual ceremonies and rituals. These practices reflect a profound connection to nature and an understanding of the healing properties found in the environment. Traveling to the African continent, we encounter diverse approaches to hygiene among various tribes. Many communities placed importance on regular bathing, often in rivers or lakes, as a communal activity. The Maasai, for instance, are known for their unique methods of cleansing, which involve using ash and water to scrub their bodies. This practice is not just for hygiene, it's woven into their cultural identity and is a part of their daily rituals. The interplay between hygiene and cultural significance becomes apparent as we explore these traditional practices. Meanwhile, in the Americas, the Inca civilization had remarkable sewage and sanitation systems that were advanced for their time. They built aqueducts and drainage systems that not only served the purpose of hygiene but also demonstrated their engineering prowess. The Incas understood the importance of clean water and sanitation in maintaining the health of their communities. Their cities, like Machu Picchu, were meticulously planned, with channels that diverted waste away from living areas, showcasing a sophisticated understanding of hygiene long before modern sanitation practices came into play. As we delve deeper into the various civilizations and their unique approaches to hygiene, it becomes clear that the past was a mosaic of practices deeply influenced by geography, climate, and culture. While some societies thrived with sophisticated systems of cleanliness, others developed unique methods to cope with their environments. The experience of hygiene was not uniform, it was a reflection of the people's adaptability and their relationship with their surroundings. Even within the same civilization, perceptions of hygiene could vary greatly. For example, in ancient Rome, while the elite enjoyed lavish public baths, the poor often relied on simpler methods, like washing their clothes in the Tiber River. The disparity in access to resources often dictated the standards of cleanliness among different social classes. This class divide was not unique to Rome. Similar patterns can be observed in many ancient societies, where the wealthy had the means to access better hygiene practices. As we continue to peel back the layers of history, we uncover the diverse and intricate tapestry of hygiene practices that have shaped human civilization. The stories of our ancestors reveal not only their struggles with cleanliness but also their resilience, creativity, and cultural values that continue to influence our understanding of hygiene today. Each civilization, with its unique practices, offers insights into the human experience and the ever-evolving relationship we have with cleanliness and personal care. Continuing our journey through the annals of hygiene, let's take a closer look at the practices in ancient Greece, where cleanliness was not only a matter of personal care but also a symbol of societal ideals. The Greeks believed that a clean body led to a clear mind, and this philosophy permeated their daily lives. Public bathhouses became prominent social hubs where citizens gathered not just to cleanse themselves, but to engage in discussions about philosophy, politics, and art. The Greeks utilized olive oil as a key component in their bathing rituals, applying it to their skin to loosen dirt and then scraping it off with a tool called a strigil. This practice, known as anointing, emphasized the connection between physical cleanliness and the cultivation of the mind and spirit. The Greeks also placed significant importance on the role of athletes, particularly during the Olympic Games. Competitors would engage in rigorous training sessions, often in the nude, which meant that hygiene took on an even greater significance in these contexts. After their events, athletes would cleanse themselves in the same public baths, reinforcing the idea that physical prowess and personal hygiene were both essential to their identity. Crossing over to the Roman Empire, we see an evolution of these practices. The Romans took public bathing to a whole new level, with vast bath complexes that included libraries, gyms, and gardens. These bathhouses were a testament to Roman engineering, complete with complex heating systems known as hypocausts that warmed the floors and walls of the baths. Romans believed in the therapeutic benefits of bathing, often incorporating different types of waters, such as hot, cold, or steam, into their rituals. The baths were not just about hygiene, they were a central part of social life, where people would gather to relax, socialize, and even conduct business. Interestingly, the Romans also understood the importance of dental hygiene. Ancient texts reveal that they used a variety of tools, including toothpicks and mouthwashes made from natural ingredients like salt and vinegar. Some even used crushed bones and oyster shells to clean their teeth, highlighting an early awareness of oral health that resonates with our practices today. Meanwhile, in the far reaches of the Pacific Islands, the Polynesians had their own unique approach to cleanliness. They employed natural resources available in their environment, using coconut oil and seawater as cleansing agents. The cultural significance of these practices was profound for many Polynesians. Cleanliness was not just about avoiding dirt but also about honoring the spirits of the sea and the land. The concept of mana, spiritual force believed to be present in people and objects, was closely tied to cleanliness, as maintaining physical purity was seen as essential for spiritual well-being. As we venture into the medieval period in Europe, the relationship between hygiene and health took a darker turn. With the onset of the Black Death, many societies began to equate cleanliness with survival. Bathing fell out of favor as fears of water being a carrier of disease spread. The era is often characterized by the belief that dirt was a protective layer, and the idea of clean became synonymous with vulnerability. People resorted to using perfumes and scented herbs to mask odors, believing that these could ward off illness. The concept of cleanliness was overshadowed by the fear of contagion, leading to a stark contrast with the earlier practices of the Greeks and Romans. However, even amidst these challenges, there were pockets of resistance and evolution in hygiene practices. In the Islamic Golden Age, scholars and physicians emphasized the importance of bathing, not just for cleanliness but as a means to promote health and wellness. The writings of notable figures, such as Avicenna, discussed the medicinal benefits of water and cleanliness, advocating for regular bathing and personal hygiene as essential components of a healthy lifestyle. Shifting to the Renaissance, the revival of classical ideas led to a renewed interest in personal hygiene. As art and science flourished, so did the understanding of the human body and the importance of cleanliness. Bathing became more common again, and innovations in soap-making began to emerge, with a greater emphasis on quality and fragrances. This era witnessed the birth of more sophisticated hygiene products, leading to a culture that celebrated cleanliness as a reflection of both personal and societal refinement.